Hi guys, my name's Bryony from Soul Star Festival, and I'm here with Marike Knight. She's a mindfulness expert and she's talking at our upcoming event. And we're just going to have a little chat about advice giving. Hi, Marike.
Hi, Bryony.
Now, I know advice giving is kind of it's a topic that we don't really hear about. But obviously we're all giving advice all the time to each other. You know, that's what girls do especially. Boys do it too. What's your advice on that? And where do you come from a place that you have I don't know, advice to give on advice?
And isn't that funny? I'm going to give advice on advice giving. But I guess where it all came from was when I was training in MBSR, Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction. I was given very solid advice to kind of hold back on advice, because I think so many people, when they're feeling like they're struggling in some way, they're looking for advice or they're looking for something. And I think, to be someone sitting with someone that's struggling, it's hard to just remain silent and hold a space for them. Whereas sometimes the space is what is required to help someone actually find their own advice and their own way of being. So it was really just through my training as a mindfulness-based stress reduction practitioner.
Yeah, wow. Because it is really hard. But sometimes we do really want advice. But the funny thing is, when someone gives it to us and it's like, oh, it's not quite what we wanted to hear, but we don't listen to it anyway.
That's it. And I think also, I think it means also that we're constantly looking outside ourselves for some sort of external validation, which, look, is fine. You probably feel it as much as I do running my own business. I'm constantly kind of seeking that outside validation at times. But usually that does mean that I'm just not wanting to make the decision on my own, because it is so difficult. But when we actually sit and just kind of get more grounded and really find it within ourselves, it's so much more empowering.
Totally. And I guess at the end of the day, the only person that lives with the advice or the decision is yourself. So you really need to be comfortable with it, don't you?
That's it. And then I guess the other element of it is so much around how, and this was something that happened to me a lot after I lost my father to suicide, there'd be a lot of people that were just so uncomfortable with sitting with my pain that then they'd want to give me advice. Oh, like, I lost my dog, he was run over, and this is what I did to fix it. And it comes from such a genuine place. But that's an interesting one, because really that can be quite detrimental to someone, because they don't feel kind of met in the place that they are. It's just that kind of willingness to go, here, if you try this, you might be better. There might be a broccoli diet that you go on if you've got cancer. We've just got that tendency to just want to fix it because it feels so uncomfortable for us to hold. So that's another whole element of it.
Well, it does feel uncomfortable. I know when you're around people that a tragedy has happened and they're not necessarily your best friend, you don't know what to say. It is such an uncomfortable place to be in, and having not been in that place myself where it's happened to me, that something tragic has happened, you don't know what to say.
That's it. And so then I think that natural tendency is to kind of go, well, I want to fix their pain. But really, I think in doing that, what we're trying to do is fix that feeling within ourselves of, oh, this isn't a pleasant experience. And I think, again, it's so human. It's not like, we need to kind of change that. But I think the better we get at being able to hold that sense of whatever we're feeling and create a bit more space for the person, the more likely we're going to have more authentic, genuine conversations where people come up and say, hey, Byron, I'm really struggling. I'm really anxious, but not kind of looking for some quick fix, just looking for someone to go, that's really shit. You're just in a really bad time. Yeah.
So is that your advice to people that
Yeah, well, I guess that will be part of what we start exploring at the Soul Star Festival, is kind of all of these things. Being in conversation with people is such a vulnerable place. We're really seen a lot of the time, and particularly now we've got screens and everything that kind of can prevent us from really showing our full self. So I think the advice is to just start to explore what's going on beneath the surface, and not being so quick to just race into advice giving or race into kind of solving things, but rather just sitting and noticing what's going on beneath the surface for all of us.
Yeah, and I think a lot of time people get feel a bit judged. Some people put a judgment there, and it makes that person feel so
Mm.
oh wow, I can't open up to that person again, because if I say, if they might judge me.
That's it. I think that's incredibly much the case. And I don't know, it's certainly something that happens with my husband a lot too. It's also the male thing to just like kind of want to fix things because they are just like, but then at the same time, sometimes I'm like, well, that's not what I, came to you for. I just wanted someone to listen. And so, sometimes now when I am wanting to kind of have that conversation with my hubby, I actually go in with that. Just, hey, I've got an issue. It's not very comfortable. I don't need you to fix it. I just need you to listen. And sometimes that can totally change the way that we interact together. So yeah.
And I think men need to, I think partners do, but I think all of us want to help fix people, and sometimes you're right, we just need to listen.
Yeah, and it's so interesting what comes up for us. I don't know whether you notice when you're in conversation and you really feel like you can help someone, there's that real want, like it's like this almost, and sometimes you don't even let them finish the sentence. It's like, I just want to help you. And, is that in the service of ourselves, or is that in the service of, the person that we're listening to? So I think there's just a lot of default behaviors that we have around communication. In some of my MBSR courses, it's really quite brutal for people, but I make them just sit and listen to someone without nodding, without smiling, just like that. And it's so uncomfortable because people are like, but I want to nod, I want to smile, I want them to know that I'm like kind of really listening. But it just kind of helps us to see all of the things that we bring into communication.
It's interesting because I learned a few years ago now that when we're always trying to help fix people, it's just another way to deflect looking at ourselves. And a lot of the time there's lots of people out there helping people, feeling like, I'm such a good person, I'm helping everyone, but it's just an excuse to not actually look within. It's just another, you may as well go drink the alcohol or smoke a cigarette or something like that, because it's exactly the same thing. And when I realized that, it's kind of changed the way of me forcing any opinions onto anyone or wanting to try and fix people, and just letting people be.
Oh, I think that's so valid. Like, I think that's what I know. I learned that like the hard way too, because I remember not about 5 years after losing Dad to suicide, I started working with people bereaved by suicide. And I had in my mind what had helped me. And I kind of wanted to drag people out of their suffering, because I was like, if you do this, 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 and this, you'll be better. But the reality was I needed that 5 years to go through that to become who I became. And I had this realization of, why would I take that away from people just because, I had some, way or pathway, and it might not have even been the right pathway. So yeah, I think we have that tendency to do that, particularly when we've become healed in particular ways, or we've found the light in, mindfulness or crystals, or, we just want to show it to the world. But yeah, I've gotten much better at just pulling back and not suggesting to people that they should meditate or anything. I just let them come to me. Yeah.
Well, I'm very excited to have you talking at our festival, the March the 1st.
Yeah, me too.
So you'll be talking a little bit about advice giving.
Yeah, so I think ours is going to be a really interactive workshop. So just getting people in the room, talking to strangers, sitting with strangers, really getting a sense of what are some of the barriers to communicating more authentically, and have that opportunity to really feel it, and then explore some different techniques and tools that we can use that are just valuable at work, at home, with strangers, with our loved ones, with our family members that drive us crazy. Just, tools and techniques that are going to help us to be better at mindfully communicating. So it's definitely a useful one for everyone.
Amazing. So if anyone wants to get tickets to our event, it is on March the 1st, and you can either just come to the markets, enjoy the food and entertainment for $5, or you can grab a ticket through Eventbrite or our website. If people want to contact you and find your mindfulness school or anything about you, where can they find you?
So just at www.coolkarmacollected.com, and obviously on Instagram on the same handle. And they're more than welcome to reach out and ask any questions.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining me.
Lovely to chat. See ya.
Bye.